Yo, what's up, guys? I thought today I would cover Matthew chapter 9, verse 10 to 13. And this is really talking about how you should interact with people of the outside world. Not just any group of people from the outside world, but people who are resented, right? People who, even in the public eye of our society that is largely comprised of unbelievers, have done horrible things, even in their eyes. And this is right when Jesus calls over Matthew to be part of his discipleship, right? Matthew is finally this disciple. And so Jesus is having dinner at Matthew's house with all of these people. So let's get into it. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need the doctor, but the sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. For I have not come to call the righteous, but sinners." So it's a really profound, small piece of the Bible that I really think isn't as quoted as much as it should be. When you see a lot of people, not just Christians, but really a lot of people who think that they're very righteous, they're very self-righteous, and they're like, "Oh, that person's bad. I'm not going to hang out with that person. I'm not going to interact with that person." Well, you really shouldn't think of yourself like that and then try and have that attitude towards others. That's a very skewed perspective, and that probably will just make you as bad as the other person for being arrogant. But look at Jesus. He is eating with sinners. This is such an unprecedented thing in the ancient world, where someone as religiously revered as Jesus himself, regardless by who, he's still a controversial figure, but you get the idea. He's still regarded as smart, even by the Pharisees. He's eating with these sinners, right? He's eating with tax collectors, people who are known for being greedy. And these tax collectors are like, "Why are you doing this, Jesus? Why?" But Jesus is saying, look, you guys have it all, right? You guys have all the tools you need to be morally just, right? Jesus is not talking about the Pharisees or criticizing them, at least not a whole lot, I think. But he's just saying, look, you guys, at least on the outside, are not sinning much. On the inside, they're sinning a lot because they're very self-righteous. But that's besides the point. The point is that the Pharisees have everything to improve, and these tax collectors have nothing. Because tax collectors, what are they doing? They're surrounding themselves with money. Money and greed. At least most of them. Are there some good tax collectors? Sure. But a lot of them, not so much. And so it's very surprising. But what is Jesus doing? He is not endorsing the lifestyle of these tax collectors. He is not saying, "Hey, you should go pickpocket more people and swindle more people." No, that's not what he's saying. What Jesus is saying is that these people are imperfect. But that doesn't mean you should not interact with them. That doesn't mean you should avoid them necessarily or all of the time. It means that you should do your best to evangelize these people, or at least get them to do better. What does Jesus say? He desires mercy, not sacrifice. Look at the mercy that God has given to us. I mean, in his eyes, we are the tax collectors. We are the people full of sin, full of very intrusive bad thoughts. And you might think that from a day-to-day basis, you're a good, relatively sinless person. Well, no. Think about all the intrusive bad thoughts you have. I'm not saying those intrusive thoughts are necessarily your fault, but still, you also have a lot of sinful thoughts consciously. And we're all sinful. We are the tax collectors, and God is giving that forgiveness. And what does Jesus say in other verses, right? If God has given us that forgiveness, we should show that forgiveness to others. And so this is exactly what Jesus is doing here. He is setting a perfect example. It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick, right? It's not the people who are apparently trying to be morally righteous who need evangelizing. It's the people who are the unbelievers, the people who are in these horrible lifestyles. That's the compassion we should give to people. These people who are unbelievers, most of them are not monsters. Most of them want the same things that we want in this world. They want a family, they want true fulfillment. at least a decent amount of those people, but still, same thing, right? So, I don't know about you guys, but Jesus is setting a great example here, and that's it. He's not come to call the righteous, but sinners. When Jesus is with his disciples, yeah, sure, he hangs out with them, but does he treat them with, extreme caution? No. But does he treat these, you know, unbelievers with extreme caution? Not necessarily, but he's still trying to gauge them, trying to win them over and trying to change their morals and beliefs for the better by just simply hanging out, by simply reminding them of their humanity. Now, the disciples don't need that, but these tax collectors, these people engaging in horrible sins, they need that more than ever. And that is our duty as Christians, as people of God. Yes, we are not supposed to accept their lifestyle, but we are supposed to be as kind to them as we can, because that is what Jesus would do, and that's what we should do too. God bless you guys. I love you all, and thank you so much for tuning in.